In Riverglen City, a girl was trending, and she hadn't even left her room yet. Lara Jones, 29, was the kind of woman people turned to stare at twice. Her skin glowed, her figure was effortless, and her confidence walked into the room before her voice. But none of that seemed to matter anymore. Because no matter what she had achieved, she was still single, and to everyone else that was a crime. "You're almost 30 and still nobody's wife," her mother said one Sunday afternoon, banging a pot lid louder than necessary. "Lara, are you allergic to marriage?" "Mom, it's not by force," Lara replied from the couch. "If husbands were in stores, I would have bought 2 on discount." Her mother clapped both hands dramatically. "Look at you. Your mates are baking birthday cakes for toddlers, and you're here painting your nails and liking TikTok videos." Lara rolled her eyes. "So what should I do? Beg?" "Yes," her mother shouted. "In fact, carry placard. Let the whole city know." Lara laughed out loud. "Maybe I will." But when she laughed that day, she didn't know the joke would become reality. Later that week, Lara sat with her 2 married friends, Maya and Trish. They were at a fancy cafe sipping mocktails and pretending not to judge her. "Lara," Maya began sweetly, "we love you. But it's time. When are we dancing at your wedding?" Trish nodded. "Seriously, maybe your online pictures are scaring good men. All this shoulder showing and captioning soft life." Lara raised a brow. "Should I wear kaftan and post Proverbs 31 instead?" "I'm just saying," Trish continued, "good men want peace, not performance." Lara grinned mischievously. "Maybe I'll make a placard. Wife material, serious men only. Walk across Stoneway Bridge and see who applies." Maya gasped. "Don't play." But Lara wasn't joking anymore. That night, another wedding video popped up on her feed. A girl she once lent a charger to in university was now being sprayed cash in slow motion. Lara dropped her phone and stood before the mirror. "Maybe I've been too quiet," she whispered. "Maybe silence doesn't work in this city." The next morning, she didn't wait for motivation. She pulled out an old cardboard from under her bed, grabbed a marker and wrote in bold letters, "Wife wanted. Serious men only. No time wasters." Underneath, she added in red ink, "I can cook. I'm kind. I'm beautiful. And I have sense." She stood back and nodded. "Let the world talk." Lara stepped out in a bright yellow jumpsuit. Her makeup was perfect. Her ponytail sharp. She held the placard with pride. Her mother nearly collapsed in the kitchen. "Lara, have you joined madness?" Lara smiled. "I'm just obeying your advice." "Lara, if I see this on Facebook, don't come back." Lara blew a kiss and left. By noon, she was standing at the entrance of Riverglen Mall, holding her sign like a protest queen. People stopped. Phones came out. A bus driver shouted, "Auntie, I go marry you but make we share rent." Lara waved him off. Next. Mechanics clapped. Shopkeepers laughed. Street hawkers offered her popcorn. And through it all, Lara stood like it was her runway. One woman walked up to her and said, "You're brave. I wish I did this before settling for nonsense." Lara smiled. "Thank you, Ma. I just want to be seen." And she was. By nightfall, the internet exploded. Hashtags popped up. Hashtag wife wanted. Hashtag Lara goes viral. Hashtag marriage not shame. Some called her desperate. Others called her genius. But either way, they watched. By morning, Lara's phone was burning with notifications. Her inbox had over 200 messages. Some funny. Some disgusting. Some hopeful. One read, "Hello. My name is Derek Kane. I saw your video. I'm not here to waste your time. Let's talk." No emoji. No game. Just straight. Lara paused. Then replied, "Hey. I'm listening." Lara Jones didn't need a stage. The street had already made her a star. By the next day, she was on blogs, WhatsApp groups, and even local TV. Screens flashed. "Meet the bold bride seeker of Riverglen. Lara Jones shakes the city with a placard." Her inbox? Chaos. Men sent pictures of cars, gyms, certificates, and meals. Some said, "I'm your king." Others wrote, "I have no money but a lot of peace." One simply said, "Can I apply with a PDF?" Lara laughed through most of them. But one name kept catching her eye. Derek Kane. No pickup lines. No games. Just honesty. He sent her a message. He said, "No time wasters. I'm here if you're serious." That message turned into texts. Then voice notes. Then long phone calls that ended with both of them smiling into pillows. After a week, Derek said, "Let's meet. No pressure. Just lunch." Lara paused. Then agreed. They met at a quiet rooftop cafe, above the noise of Riverglen. Derek wore a black shirt, clean jeans, and a calm smile. He looked like someone who knew who he was. You must be the city's loudest lover, he teased. And you must be the only man who didn't start with High Queen, Lara replied. They laughed. And kept laughing for the next 2 hours. He didn't brag. He didn't flirt awkwardly. He asked her about her work, her dreams, and the reason behind the placard. I just got tired of waiting, Lara said. I decided to be loud about what I want. Derek nodded. That's what caught my attention. You weren't pretending. The next few weeks felt like a soft breeze after a storm. Derek sent flowers. Lara sent memes. They met at bookstores, food spots, and sometimes just drove around the city, windows down, laughing about life. For the first time in years, Lara felt seen. Her mother, shocked but happy. If he has a job, a car, and a Bible, invite him properly, Mama Lara said one evening. Even Maya and Trish started acting differently. Girl, Maya whispered one day, he's fine. Oh. This one looks like husband material finally. Trish just nodded and sipped her drink. I didn't know placards could work. But Lara wasn't bothered by their tone anymore. She was glowing. Then came the call. It was a media company. They wanted Lara to appear on a Women of the Moment panel show. Topic: Modern Love in the Digital Age. She accepted. Lara, the producer said, we'll film this Friday. You'll talk about your placard, your boldness, and how it's changed your life. You're inspiring people. Lara beamed. Can Derek come? Absolutely. That will be perfect, they replied. Friday arrived. Lara dressed in a red silk gown and flawless makeup. Derek wore a navy suit. They walked into the studio holding hands. Everything was going perfectly. The host smiled. The lights were bright. And the questions came in smoothly. Until the very last one. Lara, the host said, before we wrap, there's something we want to share. The screen behind them flickered. A video played. It was her. A few years ago. Younger. Nervous. Holding a fake engagement ring in a campus hallway. The voice in the video shouted, say yes, say yes, say yes. And then another voice. She faked the whole thing. That was her final year drama project. The crowd gasped. The host smiled nervously. We thought our viewers would love a throwback. Lara's heart sank. She stood slowly. And the cameras. Now. But it was too late. Clips were already on the internet. Within the hour, headlines read, Placard Girl exposed. Not her first public stunt. Lara's love games. How real is her romance? Lara couldn't breathe. He turned to Derek. You didn't know they'd do this, right? But his face gave her the answer. He looked away. She stepped back. Derek, you knew? He sighed. They reached out to me earlier. Said it'd boost our story. I thought it was harmless, just a flashback. I didn't know they'd mock you. Lara's voice cracked. You let them embarrass me. For content. Derek stepped forward. I didn't mean to. She shook her head. You were different. I thought you saw me. And with that she left the studio. Alone. That night Lara locked her phone and her door. The world could trend without her. Old classmates posted jokes. Strangers called her fake. Even some of her supporters started asking questions. Trish didn't pick her calls. Maya sent one text. Next time, think before chasing clout. Her mother stood at her door. Lara, eat something. Don't let them kill your spirit. Lara didn't reply. She stared at her old placard. Folded in the corner. Silent. The same silence that started this whole journey. Lara Jones didn't cry. She closed tabs. She silenced her phone. But she didn't cry. Not until she saw the headlines again the next morning. Lara's fake life exposed. She did it before, she'll do it again. Clout queen or marriage material? They had dragged up her past. A prank she once pulled in university. A staged proposal that turned into chaos when the guy said no and the video went viral. It was supposed to be a creative final year project. It became a joke that refused to die. Now it was being used to destroy her again. Lara hadn't told anyone about it. Not even Derek. It wasn't something she was proud of. And now the whole world knew. But that wasn't the worst part. The worst part was discovering that Derek knew, before the show. A message popped up in her inbox. From Anonymous. You trusted the wrong man. Derek was part of the setup. He got paid to show up for drama. It was never love. Lara's heart skipped. She clicked the attached video. It was screen-recorded footage of a private Zoom meeting. A voice that sounded exactly like Derek said. She's bold, yes, but also unpredictable. If we control the narrative, the audience will eat it up. You want drama, I'll give you drama. I'll keep her close. Lara stared at the screen. Breath gone. Blood frozen. He had played her. The next morning, she walked out of her apartment with a hoodie over her head and sunglasses covering her face. But it didn't help. People stared. At the supermarket, two women whispered behind her. That's her. The one who faked her life twice. Lara dropped her basket and walked out. She didn't stop walking until she got to the riverfront. She sat on a bench and stared at the water. All she had wanted was love. Not attention. Not fame. Just someone who wouldn't laugh at her for wanting something real. She reached into her bag and pulled out her placard, the one she had folded away. For a second she thought about throwing it into the water. But she didn't. That night, Mama Lara knocked gently on her bedroom door. "Lara," she said softly. "I know I pushed you. I thought marriage would save you. But now I see you needed peace more than pressure." Lara turned, eyes red but dry. "I just wanted to be honest." Loudly. "For once." Her mother nodded. "Then don't let this silence you." The next day, another message landed in her inbox. It was a video posted by a street blogger. But this time it wasn't an insult. It was the full behind-the-scenes clip of the TV setup. The host was heard saying, "We need to break her a little. That's what the audience wants." Another voice added, "Make sure Derek is ready. He's our key to flipping the story." Lara posted it. No captions. Just the video. Within hours it went viral again, but this time the sympathy turned. Comments poured in. "So they planned everything?" Lara didn't fake anything, she got played. "This is evil. We owe her an apology." Hashtags flipped. Hashtag justice for Lara. Hashtag not eat. Hashtag they set her up. Then came the call. "Derek." Lara let it ring. Then again. And again. Finally she picked up. His voice was slow. "Picky. Lara, I never meant for it to go this far. I wanted to stop it. I wanted to tell you." "You didn't," she replied. "I fell for you," he said. "At some point it stopped being about the show. You made me feel something real." Lara stayed silent. "Can I see you?" Derek asked. "No," she said. "You've seen enough." Then she ended the call. That evening, Lara sat by her window and reopened her journal. She wrote, "The world doesn't like loud women. But I'd rather be loud and true than quiet and broken." She smiled to herself. This story wasn't over. Lara Jones wasn't trending anymore. But this time she didn't care. The trolls had moved on. The news had shifted to a celebrity breakup. And the noise faded. But Lara stayed steady. She spent her mornings at her desk. Her afternoons on walks. Her evenings with books and silence. No placards. No hashtags. Just healing. Until one evening she got a message. From Riverglen Voices Media. "Lara, we're producing a documentary on modern courage. We want your story. No tricks. Just truth." At first she ignored it. But the message kept playing in her mind. Truth. That was all she ever wanted to share. 2 days later she replied, "I'll do it. But on my terms." They met in a simple studio. No live audience. No flashy hosts. Just Lara and a chair. The interviewer asked, "Why did you carry a placard?" Lara smiled. "Because silence wasn't working. I wanted love, but I wasn't going to whisper anymore." "And after the betrayal?" She nodded slowly. "I learned that being loud makes you visible. But being visible doesn't mean you'll be understood." The interviewer leaned in. "What would you say to women watching this?" Lara looked directly into the camera. "Wanting love is not weakness. Asking out loud is not shame. And walking away from people who pretend to care? That's strength." The documentary aired that weekend. It wasn't explosive. It was honest. Clips of Lara holding her placard. Clips of the prank behind the scenes. Her voice reading lines from her journal. The response was overwhelming. People reposted it with the caption, "This is how you take back your story." Her inbox changed. Not from men looking for attention, but from women thanking her. "I finally told my mother I'm not ready for marriage. I broke up with someone who made me feel small. I wore my own placard today just in my heart." A few weeks later, Lara was invited to speak at a youth conference. Topic: Courage, Culture and the Right to Speak. She stood on stage in a navy blue dress and minimal makeup. She spoke for 10 minutes. She didn't shout. She didn't cry. She just spoke. And people listened. After the event, as she stepped outside, someone tapped her shoulder. She turned. It was Derek. He looked tired. But honest. "I came to listen," he said. "Not to talk." She raised a brow. "And I deserved the silence," he said. "I just needed to see if your voice was still yours." Lara nodded. "It always was. You just weren't listening." He smiled faintly. "I still think about you. A lot." "I think about me too," she replied. "And for once, that's enough." She didn't hug him. She didn't insult him. She just walked past him. And it felt better than any apology. Later that night, Lara stood in front of her mirror. No cameras. No filters. No noise. Just her. She picked up the old placard one last time, then turned it over. On the back she wrote in red, "I choose myself." She folded it gently and placed it back under her bed. Not to hide it, but to remind herself. She didn't need a sign anymore. He had become the message. Not yet,